To order, and we'd like to welcome all present. I'd like to introduce the staff and the board. Over to my left is Crystal Wade, Glenn Rowe, and he has an assistant. I can't remember his name, but we need to recommend him, and Olivia, and Connie Harris. And the Wetland Board is Martha Little, Cecil Little, which,
Not related.
No,
and Hunter Sled, and Andy Ransom, and of course I'm in the reveal. With that said, I'll turn the meeting over. The first on the agenda is, I just had it here, Richard
Metzer.
Yeah, okay, well, Olivia is gonna take care of reading.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. The first hearing for today is Richard Metzer, care of Brian McDermott, Mac Bros LLC, 388 Scoggins Creek Trail, Hartfield, Virginia. Request permission to install 165 feet of Class A1 and Class 1 riprap revetment. A 190-foot riprap sill, Class 1, backfilled with clean sand and native wetland plantings for the construction of a living shoreline, and a 190-foot backshore riprap revetment, Class 1, behind the proposed living shoreline along Dunton Cove, located off Virginia State Highway 3, Mary Ball Road on Irvington Road, tax map number 34-31, VMRC number 2026-1167, and NAO 2026-01122. Brian McDermott is here with us online.
Is there an agent?
Yes, ma'am. Brian McDermott is online. Brian, can you hear us? Would you like to talk about the project?
Or he was.
Brian, can you unmute yourself, please? All right. Okay, well, I'm going to go through the slides here. If you look at his permit drawing, you'll see there's let me see. This is for Metzer. I think I'm on the wrong one. Nope, we're correct. Okay. So you see the living shoreline to the right of the pier there. He's not disturbing the wetlands grasses that are underneath the pier. And then there's another proposed revetment to the left of the pier. Glenn, do you see Brian again online? He's probably trying to get back in.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. This is an overlay with the aerial. You can see what's proposed there. All right, this is the first revetment, cross-section. The second cross-section here. He's got his living shoreline statement. It says living shoreline was considered along the west side of the dock. However, the steeper bank, the direction that the bank faces with the sun staying behind the trees most of the day, and increased shade from the overhanging said trees make this a less suitable location for grasses to grow. A riprap revetment is proposed along this side for shoreline stabilization, while a living shoreline is proposed along the east side due to slightly gentler slopes and greater sunlight exposure. Right? Okay, Brian, can you unmute yourself, please?
Hey, Olivia, this is Bailey.
Oh, hey, this is Brian McDermott's son. Can you walk us through the project for Metzer, please?
Yes, ma'am. It's 165 feet of riprap revetment on the southwest end, and then 190 feet of a living shoreline on the northeast end. And on the northeast end, there's a revetment just under the embankment, so that because the embankment is very steep, so we just don't want that to fall in and and affect the living shoreline, the grasses that we plant and everything. So, but if y'all have any questions, please ask away.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. McDearman?
The board have any questions on this?
No, I'm
Is
good
there
with it.
anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this? Olivia, Carla, do you have any?
No, ma'am.
Olivia?
Yes, ma'am. We looked at this project in the field at your Tuesday meeting, and I have no concerns regarding the living shoreline statement, and he has satisfied all the Bay Act requirements, so I think we're ready for a vote when you are.
Okay, if you're satisfied, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Yeah, I'll move to approve the project as submitted.
Second.
All in favor, signify. Okay, 5-0.
All right, thank you, Madam Chairwoman. The next public
Okay.
hearing we have is Allison Smith, care of Craig Palubinsky.
Please,
Pardon?
just a moment, please. Let me get rid of those. Okay,
All right, the next public hearing we have for you is Allison Smith, care of Craig Palubinsky of Bayshore Design, requesting permission to construct 350 feet of damaged riprap revetment to construct two 48-foot riprap sills with 40 cubic yards of beach nourishment, 800 square feet of wetlands vegetation plantings, 97 feet of riprap revetment along the base of an eroded bank, and a 12-foot riprap spur along the shoreline of Moran Creek, located off Virginia State Highway 630, Taylors Creek Road on Barneck Lane. Tax map number 27-31, VMRC number 2026-1235, and NAO 2022-02903. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
is someone here up? Excuse me.
Good morning, Craig
Okay,
Palubinsky
okay.
with Bayshore
Okay,
Design.
Craig.
I'm the agent representing this request. Just a brief overview of the project. First, I'm going to start on the main section, the high bank, west facing, that has existing failing 350 feet of riprap. That was installed some 30 years ago. And right now, it's just slumped and it's gotten overtopped, filter cloths exposed. The revetment averages in height anywhere from 3 to 4 feet and has a base width of about 9. So what we're proposing here is remove all the existing riprap, bring in new filter cloth, shape the base of the bank, and reconstruct a 6x12 revetment using about maybe 2 tons per foot of Class A1 and 1 stone. So it's going to be a complete reconstruction. No further channel encroachment than what's there right now. Really, there isn't any intertidal zone exposed in front of that revetment. It's all pretty much low water right up to the toe and into the toe of the existing revetment. There are some trees along the top edge of the bank that have exposed tree roots. There's about 9 or 10 with pines, mostly pines right on the edge of the bank that'll need to be cut flush at the base and leave the stumps so that they don't fall and take the whole bank with them. And then at the south end of that riprap revetment reconstruction, we're proposing a 48-foot riprap sill with 10 cubic yards of beach nourishment and 300 square feet of wetlands vegetation plantings. The bank starts to taper down and gets low, and you get into a cove setting there. There is some marsh grass there now that is experiencing some erosion along the fringe of it, so we want to protect that point and then add some sand and some more plantings to enhance protection there on that south point. And we're proposing to do the same thing on the north point as you come into the main branch of Moran Creek. Another 48-foot riprap sill with 30 cubic yards of beach nourishment and 500 square feet of wetlands vegetation plantings to protect that north point as you come into the creek. And the last component of the project, we're proposing 97 feet of riprap revetment along the north-facing bank. That's between the north point as you come into the creek and the pier. That's shown on section D, which would be the last page of your drawing set. It's a north-facing bank. It's well vegetated. Doesn't really get any sun exposure to the shoreline, so we disqualify the living shoreline in that portion of the project just because you won't get the sun exposure unless you grade the bank back, which they don't want to do. So we're just doing about a ton per foot Class A revetment along the base of that bank. There are some trees buttressing out from the base of the bank that will have to be cut and removed. And at the east end terminus of that revetment, we're proposing a 12-foot riprap spur the bank gets low and you have a little pocket marsh there. So in many cases, when you end a revetment, sometimes you have some scour around the back end where the revetment ends into the bank. So we're proposing a little 12-foot spur just to alleviate any kind of washout that would occur if you didn't have that spur. It's just a freestanding sill, only about half a foot above high tide. Again, there are no impacts to vegetated wetlands and very minimal impacts to non-vegetated. That's pretty much it. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
No, anyone on the board have any concerns? Carla,
No.
do you have any?
No, ma'am.
Olivia?
Mr. Pagubinsky's done an excellent job of protecting the existing vegetated wetlands on site, so staff has no concerns, and he has submitted his water quality impact assessment forms for Bay Act compliance. We do still need to ask the audience for their
I
comment.
will, but I forgot to ask him before you, but nevertheless, is there anyone in the audience that would wish to speak to this? Anyone on Zoom?
No, ma'am.
Okay, with that said, are we ready for a motion?
I'll move that we approve as submitted.
Second, please.
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved in second. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. The next on the agenda is, I'll turn it over to Olivia. She'll explain.
Yes, ma'am. The New Tides LLC, care of Brian McDearman, has asked that we table their application pending some additional revisions. Since we did advertise the public hearing, we can open up the floor and allow the public to comment if they wish. And then once we re-advertise those revisions, we can hold a second public hearing. So we'll go ahead and ask the audience if anyone wishes to comment.
Audience, have any comment or like to add anything? Carla?
No, ma'am.
And you? You ready then for us?
Glenn, anyone online? Nope. Okay,
I thought I looked at Glenn, but anyway.
then we'll go ahead and move on to the next one since that's tabled.
Okay.
So the next hearing is going to be JSC Family LLC, care of Stefan Kamatis, care of Salterra Solutions LLC, P.O. Box 1744, Kilmarnock, Virginia 22482. Request permission to install 325 feet of riprap revetment Class A1 stone, 25 feet of Class A1 stone sill along existing undercut fringe marsh, and a 12-foot by 60-foot prefabricated concrete boat ramp along the eroded shoreline of Taylor's Creek, located off Virginia State Highway 630, Taylor's Creek Road on Peak Road, tax map number 27-56A, VMRC number 2026-1534, and NAO-2026-01462. I believe the agent is here with us.
Yes, ma'am. Joseph Scott, Solterra Solutions, PO Box 1744, Kilmarnock, Virginia 22482. I am the agent for the applicant. Essentially what we have is a very large parcel that are proposing to put a revetment there on the southwestern portion of the property. A living shoreline actually was considered there, considered using some sort of gapped structures, maybe even a breakwaters to also create a backshore recreational beach. Unfortunately, their SAV is mapped offshore there, right up to the low water line. So pretty much the only option for that piece of the property would be to put a revetment in there. That is the worst portion of the project. That whole entire bank there is pretty ate up because it looks right straight out of Taylor's Creek into the river. On the cove side, we've also proposed a revetment as well, as opposed to a living shoreline solution, mostly because of the drop-off that occurs in that area. In order to get offshore 6 to 8 feet to build some sort of living shoreline that would help alleviate some of the bank erosion. The sill itself would be in about 2.5 feet of water at low tide, so it would make for a huge structure. Plus, there are no plans to grade that side of the embankment. I'd like to leave the trees there. There's a fair amount of forest cover there that would provide a lot of shading, which could also be problematic for a living shoreline in that particular section. So that's how we came up with the proposal for those two areas, which are the worst areas on this particular parcel in terms of erosion. There is a small revetment revision that was added on the other side of the boat ramp as well to give the boat ramp some protection. And I know that private boat ramps in Lancaster aren't something that come across very often, but in this particular case, the lay of the land is everything is right there. The upland really does not have to be changed very much at all in order for a boat ramp to function there. You know, you could almost speculate at some point in the past it may have been used for similar reasons there. But in that particular case, for the boat ramp, a concrete boat ramp has been suggested because of the bottom that's there. It's way too soft to really support any sort of gravel or pavers or anything like that that would allow a boat ramp to function in that area. So hoping that the creation of the boat ramp prefabricated, pre-poured, and put there, the surface area will help maintain it and keep it from sinking too much in the mud that's in that area. Hopefully, if you got any questions, you guys didn't have any on site the other day, so I'm here if you got any questions.
Okay, you finished, George?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone on the board have any concerns?
No.
Anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this? Anyone online?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Colin, do you have anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Olivia.
Mr. Scott has satisfied staff requirements for the living shoreline statement and Bay Act compliance. The boat ramp is a permissible use in R1 zoning, so that is allowable under our zoning code for a private boat ramp. And the impact there in the intertidal zone is not going to be that much different than the riprap that is adjacent to it. So staff has no concerns. Thank you.
Okay, so we're ready for a motion.
I move to approve as presented.
Second?
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Excuse me. Then, go ahead, Olivia.
All right, thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Our next public hearing is L&S Enterprise LLC, care of Brian McDearman, Mac Bros LLC, 388 Scoggins Creek Trail, Hartfield, Virginia, 23071, requesting permission to install a living shoreline and enhancement consisting of 311 feet of Class 2 riprap sill with clean sand fill nourishment and wetlands vegetation plantings on the west bank for a living shoreline, and an after-the-fact permit for 18 feet of riprap placed under the dock along the eroded shoreline of Tabbs Creek, located off Virginia State Highway 3, Maryball Road on Akron Road, tax map numbers 35-100A, 35-100F, G and H, VMRC number 261520 and NAO-2026-00353. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. The agent is online.
Okay,
Mr. McDearman, can you please explain your project to the board?
Hi, Olivia, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I think you summed it up pretty well, but I might add that in the wetlands area where we're doing the, kind of the living shoreline type, project, we're gonna avoid the grass that's existing, to the best of our ability. But if y'all went to the site, you could see there's a lot of patches that need sand and grass. So we're gonna fill those little patches, but it was just hard to put that on the drawings. And also on that bank, we're just gonna grade it to where it kind of just tapers down into into that area. But I thought I should add that. But if y'all have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.
You finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is anyone on the board wishing to speak to this? Andy? No?
No, I don't have a problem, it's good.
How about Martha?
No, I'm good.
No problem. Okay, anyone in the audience wishes to speak to this? Kyle?
No, ma'am.
Olivia?
The agent has taken care to maximize the existing wetland grasses and has satisfied the living shoreline requirement as well as the Bay Act compliance requirement. The unpermitted riprap that was placed, I think the owner placed that after an erosion issue occurred when the pier was put in, and he was very concerned about that eroding out. And so based on that, I think he thought he was doing the right thing to try to protect that embankment, and that's why they're coming for the after-the-fact permit on that as well. So I recommend approving that without penalty. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Okay, if you happy, we happy. I'm happy. With that said, do I hear a motion, please?
Yeah, I'll move to approve submitted.
I'll second.
Moved in second, all in favor, signify. Okay, thank you.
All right, next up, we have a public hearing for Harold Sign, care of Salterra Solutions LLC, P.O. Box 1744, Kilmarnock, Virginia 22482, requesting permission to install 30 feet of riprap revetment along the eroded shoreline of Johnson Cove, located off Virginia State Highway 650, Fleets Bay Road on Coppage Farm Road, tax map number 29-64A, VMRC number 2026-1533, and NAO-2026-01461. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Anyone on the board wishes to speak to this?
No comment?
Anyone in the audience wish to speak to this?
Yes, Joseph Scott, Salterra Solutions, P.O. Box 1744, Kilmarnock, Virginia 22482. I'm the agent for the applicant. This is essentially the existing revetment that's going to be repaired. As you could see on Tuesday when you went down there, most of the shoreline is actually growing up through the rocks. A lot of that needs to be pulled out. It needs to have filter cloth put under it, and it needs to be repaired. And then there's a 30-foot section there that was not done whenever the original rock was done for whatever reason. So they're going to go ahead and put a revetment in to connect those two pieces there. The impacts are minimal. It's mostly upland bank, but since there is vegetated wetlands in front of it, it does make it jurisdictional for the board. So if you have any questions for me.
Finished?
Yep.
Okay, is anyone on the board have any concerns?
No, ma'am.
I ask the audience and anyone online, please?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Kyle,
No, ma'am.
Olivia.
Staff has no concerns. Thank you.
Okay, well, if everything is okay, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Move to approve as submitted.
Yeah.
Move to approve as submitted.
I'm sorry.
Move for approval.
Oh, okay. Okay, second, please.
I'll second.
Is it on?
All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. I don't know, it's hard to hear over here for some reason.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have a public hearing for Alexandria Boys Camp, care of Brian McDermott, Mac Bros LLC, 388 Scoggins Creek Trail, Hartfield, Virginia 23071, requesting permission to replace the 42 feet by 6 foot main dock stem and 118 feet long by 6 foot wide wraparound piers in the same footprint along the shoreline of Indian Creek. They're going to demo the boathouse as well. located on Virginia State Highway 3, Mary Ball Road on Boys Camp Road, tax map number 29-14, VMRC number 26-1523, and NAO-2026-01443. The agent is online, and the reason we are permitting this pier is it's considered not residential since it's for public use through Alexandria Boys Camp. So we do permit those type of piers. Mr. McDermott, would you like to add anything?
I think you pretty much explained it exactly how it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, just let.
Board have any questions for the agent? No? Carla, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Livia?
No, ma'am.
Okay, a motion, please.
I'll move to approve as submitted.
Second.
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay. All righty.
All right. Next up, for our 8th public hearing, we have Daniel Gunther, care of Allison Schlobem Marine Permits LLC, P.O. Box 15852, Richmond, Virginia 23227, requesting permission to install 300 linear feet of riprap revetment along the eroded shoreline of Meyer Creek, located off Virginia State Highway 604, Ottoman Ferry Road on Level Green Road, tax map number 26-33I, VMRC number 2026-1025, and NAO-2026-00990. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Anyone on the board to add anything to this? In the audience? Glenn, I'm sorry.
You're
Go
good.
ahead.
Good morning. My name is Allison Schlobom. I'm the permitting agent with Marine Permits LLC. My address is P.O. Box 15852, Richmond, Virginia. I'm here this morning on behalf of Daniel Gunther, who's applying for a permit to install 300 by 8 feet of Class A1 stone riprap revetment at 912 Level Green Road. Unfortunately, the conditions at this property are not conducive to that which is necessary to implement a living shoreline. However, as you saw probably during your visit, the edge of the property that meets the water is rapidly eroding, so some form of protection is needed, and it was determined that riprap would be the best preventative measure to stop further erosion. Let me know if you have any questions.
You finished? Have you finished, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
The board didn't have anything? No, ma'am. Carla? Livia?
Yes, ma'am. We looked at this at our site visit, and Mrs. Schlobom has provided us with a very excellent living shoreline statement, which you can see on the screen here. It was in your packet. She goes through the different reasons why a living shoreline is not a viable solution for this site. And you can see both in the pictures and recollect from your site visit that there are a lot of trees overhanging the bank there, which would cause some extensive shading. And there are some pretty significant erosion issues on the embankment. So staff has no issues with the approach the agent is taking here. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone online?
No, ma'am.
No one in the audience, so with that said, a motion, please.
I'll move to approve as submitted.
I'll second.
Been moved in second. All in favor, right hand. Okay. I thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, are we going to approve the minutes, Olivia?
Yes, ma'am. Next up on the agenda was the approval of meeting minutes for April 9th and June 11th of 2026.
Do I hear a motion to approve the April 9th and June 11th, 26 minutes, please?
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay. It's been approved and the minutes are approved.
Second.
All in favor, signify. Okay, fine. Right.
All right, thank you,
Okay.
Madam Chairwoman. Next up, we move on to tabled actions. From a previous meeting, we had a public hearing for AJ Kuntumakala and Lavanya Reedy, care of Salterra Solutions LLC, PO Box 1744, Kilmarnock, Virginia 22482. They were requesting permission to install 360 feet of riprap revetment, class 2 and 3 stone, 2 100-foot stone breakwaters, and 1 50-foot spur, class 2 and 3 stone, with 9,000 square feet of sand nourishment and 900 square feet of wetlands plantings along the eroded shoreline of the Chesapeake Bay, located off Virginia State Highway 3, Maryball Road on Windmill Point Road, map number 36-45, VMRC number 26-0852, and NAO-2026-00838. You have already held the public hearing for this, so we do not need to do that again. Nothing in the project has changed as proposed. The VIMS comment was read into the record at the last meeting, and so we're going to have the agent come up and speak to you about it. We've got the drawings up here on the screen, and I've also pulled some historic photos for you to consider. Seen here, this is the area. You see the one house on the left in 2002. That's the neighbor with the riprap revetment adjacent. There's a blue line on the screen that's a little hard to see. That indicates your mean high water line. And then present day is next to it. You see the home there, the Kuntumakala's home, present day, and that blue line has moved significantly since the 2002 line. Again, if you look at these aerials, you see the 2002 aerial. There's a section that used to be connected by a sand beach there in 2002. That's just to the left of this project. And then present day, you can see the erosion that's taken place there. And then also for you to consider is a close-up of breakwaters, which were to the right of that on your screen. The 2002, you can see those breakwaters connected, and you can see that blue line. And then in the present day photo, you can see that disconnection of the breakwaters and erosion, especially towards the bottom of the screen there. So that beach has receded behind that line, and additional measures appear to have been added in this section as well. So if the agent would like to come up and speak.
Yes. Joseph Scott, Salterra Solutions, PO Box 1744, Kilmarnock, Virginia 22482. I'm the agent for the applicant. I spoke with the applicants yesterday, and they would like to move forward with what was originally proposed, as Olivia pointed out, and I didn't take the time to get the information together, but 100 years ago, if you pull up the VIMS 1930 aerial from this area, it actually went offshore about another 800 to 900 feet. If you're at the site and you look out there and you see the groins, about 400 feet channelward of that, there was actually a building of some sort on the 1930 aerial. So it kind of goes without saying that this is a spot that gets eroded a lot. And that is part of the reason why the Kuntumakala's would like to move forward with the project as proposed. In the VIMS report, in the third paragraph, they noted that it's already been read, but they basically said if a revetment is deemed necessary, we recommend deferring construction if and until the breakwaters and sand nourishment proves to be unsuccessful in controlling erosion. And they are in agreement with that. They're okay with doing it in portions if, they don't really want to have to put the backshore revetment in. They would like to keep the beach and not have the separation. Unfortunately, in this spot, if you get down to Frank Burke's or if you go up to Mr. Fox's, who is actually in the Henry Islands subdivision, they had breakwaters and they got breached and they had to come to the backshore and put in a revetment at some point too. I don't think anyone really necessarily wants to. These are beautiful beaches when they're there, but so that they're okay with doing that in phases, I guess it would be. as VIM's recommended there, if the board is okay with the impact. Currently, when I spoke to them yesterday, they kind of laughed because when we started this project in February, there was a huge amount of urgency because the shoreline was just getting annihilated. And Ajay told me yesterday, he goes, the beach looks the best it's looked since we've owned the property this summer. So he goes, we may not have to do anything, but they've seen it change so much so quickly that they would like to still move forward with the permit. Because as you can see from the aerials that were put up there and also from dealing with the Fox project and some of the other projects in the area, you know, things can change there extremely quickly. So that's about all I have to say, which is probably too much, but they are willing to phase it. If they put the breakwaters out there and those do fail and the backshore dune gets completely washed out, they would like to have the ability to put a revetment on the backshore. And I say revetment, it's kind of like a sill. Can't really lay a revetment on that, but it would be built kind of like a sill, but you can't call it a sill because it's not a sill.
Okay.
Okay, is there anyone on the board wish to speak to this? John, the one in the audience. Glenn, is anyone on? No. No? Okay, Colin, do you have any?
No comment.
Olivia?
Yes, ma'am. I think any motion that's made by this board should be based on the VIM's recommendation. And as such, a possible motion could be in compliance with the VIM's recommendation, a motion to approve the project as presented with the condition that the construction of the 360 feet of riprap revetment is deferred if and until the breakwaters and sand nourishment prove unsuccessful in controlling erosion. That language is taken directly from their letter. So if you are ready, you can ask for a motion on this project.
I'd like a motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion. In compliance with the VIM's recommendation, I make the motion to approve the project as presented with the condition that construction of the 360-foot of riprap revetment is deferred if and until the breakwaters and sand nourishment prove unsuccessful in controlling erosion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Could I add something to that?
Sure.
Okay, hold on.
That motion should become part of the
Yes,
permit.
yes. When you make the motion, say the letter that, the motion he just read is a part of this application. This that he just read, you.
Yes, ma'am. We will put that in the permit language.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. You made the motion, huh?
Andy, actually.
Andy made the
Oh,
motion.
Andy made it. Do I hear a second?
It was second.
I second.
All is moved and second. All in favor, signify by raising your hand. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Other business, Olivia.
Yes, ma'am. It's time for elections, and you have before you an elections memo. The slate stays the same for the chairwoman. Edna has offered to stay on as chair. William Towles has offered to rotate on as vice chair, and we thank Cecil for his service as vice chair. And of course, Crystal Wade takes your notes. So we just need a motion to approve the slate if it is the will of the board.
Okay.
Can we get a motion to approve the slate for the elections, please?
Okay,
I move to approve the slate of, as presented.
Okay, motion to,
I'll second.
all right. Okay,
All in favor? Was that a unanimous vote? We need to make sure Crystal has it for the record.
ma'am?
Was that yes? Can we see the vote?
Yeah, we did.
I know, but-
5-0.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
All right, and then next up, we have the violations update, bringing back the issue for public hearing that we discussed at the last meeting. There were 2 violations from the same owner, 2 separate parcels. That will come back as a public hearing at your next meeting in September. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
How about Will?
Pardon?
Will Tolles?
How about it?
We just elected him.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, that's it. That's
All right,
I
thank
have.
you. You can adjourn the meeting if it is your wish.
Okay. If no further business, anyone needs to say anything, I'll adjourn the meeting at 10, what is it, about 10:08?
Yep.
Sure.